So I think everyone's heard the expression of I can't talk. So I think everyone's heard the expression a broken clock is right twice a day. Um, well, this is one of Donald Trump's right twice a day moments. Um, Ahead of South Carolina primary, Trump says he strongly supports IVF after Alabama court ruling. To be clear, this article was published yesterday on the 24th. Today's the 25th, and Trump won the South Carolina primary. Um, no shock. I don't even know why we're bothering with this dog and pony show anymore. I mean, I strongly support democracy, so I think it's good we're bothering with this dog and pony show because we should be going through the motions and making sure people are winning fair and square, even though Donald Trump doesn't believe in winning fair and square. Anyway, that's a side tangent. Former President Donald Trump said he would strongly support the availability of IVF and called on lawmakers in Alabama to preserve access to the treatment that had become a new flashpoint in the 2024 presidential election. It was his first comment since an Alabama Supreme Court ruling that led some providers in the state to suspend their in vitro fertilization programs and has left Republicans divided over the issue. Trump, in a post Friday on his Truth Social network, said, "Under my leadership, the Republican Party will always support the creation of strong, thriving, healthy American families. We want to make it easier for mothers and fathers to have babies, not harder." The all Republican Alabama Supreme Court, among the nation's most conservative judicial panel, ruled that frozen embryos can be considered children under state law. Since then, some Alabama clinics and hospitals, including the University of Alabama at Birmingham Health System, have announced pauses on IVF services. Fallout has deepened divisions among conservatives over abortion and other reproductive services in a campaign year already fraught with debates over whether Republicans should pursue national abortion limits after the U.S. Supreme Court's 2022 ruling that overturned the 1973 Roe v. Wade decision, legalizing abortion nationwide. Trump and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, his last remaining major opponent for the GOP presidential nomination, have both cautioned against an absolute national ban and now have distanced themselves from the Alabama case. So, also about the Nikki Haley thing, we covered this story a few days ago, but just to remind everybody of that, Nikki Haley sides with Alabama Supreme Court on IVF ruling. Embryos to me are babies. And that article was on the 21st. So she agreed that frozen embryos created through in vitro are babies, and sided with the Supreme Court in Alabama, and now she's trying to walk that back. I think she's claiming she was misinterpreted by the media. But no, I think she's just walking back because she doesn't want the backlash. And to be fair, I mean, there have been other Republicans that have argued against this Supreme Court ruling. So it's not just Trump and Haley. I don't know why anyone would be against in vitro fertilization personally, just because, again, I mean, I showed you the diagrams in that video. I mean, an embryo doesn't look at all like a person, doesn't even at all look human. There's no like conscious experience there. There's no sense of personhood. There's no sense of self. There's no like, voluntary action. It's not even like a being of any kind. It's just a clump of cells. So I think even some Republicans are smart enough, and Trump is smart enough to be like, oh yeah, no, yeah, let's not ban in vitro fertilization, actually. That's a bit too far. Maybe embryos are in fact not children, are not should not be children in the eyes of the legal system. Just maybe. but I mean, so I don't know. On the one hand, I'm like, well, I mean, I guess it's nice to see some Republicans not go completely into crazy town. I mean, they all live in crazy town, but some of the more fundamentalists are really, they're like, TFG 2.0, TFG 100.0. They're far down the list, and there's a few that are like crazy, but they're slightly less crazy than the super crazy ones. But yeah, I mean, let's face it, the Republican Party's falling apart. I'm taking some glee in it because, you know, never claimed to be a good person, never claimed to be fair to my enemies, but it's kind of an absurd picture, to be honest with you. I mean, like, I'm glad Trump supports IVF because, like I said, I don't think it's harming any person, and it's helping people who can't have children through other methods. And if people want to have children, I don't see why we should prevent them from doing so. As long as we should have social safety nets to help them raise their children in the best possible way. But so, I mean, he's correct on this issue fundamentally. But one, it's small consolation for the reproductive rights we've lost because of the judges he nominated onto the Supreme Court. And two, this whole situation is just a perfect representation of Trump. I mean, do you think Trump really cares about fetuses, about saving fetuses? Do you really think no, he's not. He claimed he was pro-choice for most of his life, and then he claimed, I forget, he talked to some 8-year-old, and I think he found out, maybe through the 8-year-old, maybe through someone else, I don't know. I'm probably butchering the story, but anyway, he talked to a little kid and found out somehow, that he might not have. He thought to himself, or he was talking to a really nice kid, and he just really liked this kid, and he was like, it would have been terrible if this kid had been aborted and was never around. This is terrible. I have to rethink my opinion on abortion. Again, I'm being a little sparse and I'm forgetting some of the details here, but his whatever story he told, where he was like, oh yeah, I've changed my mind now on abortion. It was complete nonsense. It didn't make a lick of sense. He doesn't care about abortion. He's not even a hardcore pro-lifer. I still think, I mean, I'm not sure he thinks about it that much, but I feel like if you pushed him, he would still lean a bit more in the pro-choice direction. And I feel like he's just claiming to be pro-life because that's what you do when you're a Republican in 2024. Got to save them babies. And it's just, again, it's just a perfect representation. The aftermath of his actions has nothing to do with ideology. It has nothing to do with his personal belief system. He is not a diehard pro-lifer. And I mean, I'm not like an expert in his personal life, but we all damn well know. I mean, he's been the cause of many abortions, almost certainly. I mean, who knows how many mistresses he's impregnated on the side and given some hush money cash to help them terminate the pregnancy. I mean, I know that's just conjecture here, but like, it would be perfectly in his character. I would be surprised if he hadn't done that at some point in his life a couple times. So yeah, I mean, I'm this is sort of like, this is a Trump W, but this is like, I mean, it's a low bar. Trump W's are almost always a low bar. I mean, again, I'll give him credit. He has the corrective position on IVF. He's for it. Yay. Thumbs up. Congratulations. But like I said, it's not much consolation given the rights that have been lost. And it's not much consolation given that the rights were taken away by an absurdist figure, by a figure who doesn't even really believe in like this like diehard pro-life worldview. he loves power. He loves fame. He hitched his wagon to the Republican Party. God knows why. And we're all suffering the consequences because of it.